Hello there, welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, a Game of Thrones. How are you all doing? Before we jump into this episode, I did just want to take a look at how we rank on a global scale for our diplomacy, because it is getting quite high, and our health is poor and ailing, so I think I am in my later years of life. So let's check this before it's too late, basically. Some of you were interested as well. So if we sort by diplomacy, we're actually not that far off. As you can see, Littlefinger here is still alive. In fact, he is landed over in the Vale. Very nice, very nice. We're not too far off the top page. If we scroll down just a little bit, we are down here with our 31 diplomacy. So we are one of the most diplomatic people in Westeros. In fact, he's a fingerman. We might almost... we're not the most diplomatic in the Riverlands, but we're up there. We're up there. Actually, a lot of Riverlanders are diplomatic. Anyway, that's enough of that stuff. Shall we get into the episode? I do think I am nearing my final stages in life, which is unfortunate. And we do have a war, which will be over very soon because they only have 53 soldiers left. So soon enough, we will be under our rightful liege again. Now, I want to make sure that before I pass on, that the foundations are set for my house, which means we need to save up a little bit of gold so that Dean has something to hopefully support him if any unforeseen circumstances occur upon my succession. The latest of my acquaintance, Lord William, has become all the rage at court of late. The piece deals with memory and what we leave behind, and William has publicly dedicated it to me, the time of legacy. The mightiest men must leave this earth, their deeds, their acts, their swollen worth, and hope only for memory's grace, their time of conquest ended apace. So far I've kept my thoughts to myself, but the buzz has grown too dramatic to ignore for much longer. William, I can see this is truly heartfelt. Thank you. Of House Mutanvale. Of course, we know this sigil. I'm so bad at remembering names, but I knew I recognized the sigil for sure. Now, I do have a plan for when we play as Dean, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. And it might not happen. Dean could get assassinated. We never know where the story may go in these series. As I lean over the map in the council chamber, a sudden creak turns my head towards the door. My granddaughter Isolde appears in the hallways, walks into the room. She looks at me with an inscrutable look for a moment, then walks over to me, wrapping me in a tight hug. I look at her, a hidden tear in my eye, while my hand is stroking her hair in an effort to reciprocate the gesture. Ah, Isolde. I think that's not how I pronounce it. In fact, you guys told me how to pronounce this. You're a good daughter. I'm blessed to have such a nice daughter, even at this age. The defender of the Black River needs a worthy successor. Apparently... Okay, what happened to your successor? Fiamar here. Let's go ahead and force you to be a knight. There we go. And then I should be able to make you become a successor. Oh, I like it when they wield my family sigil. Our coat of arms so proudly. It makes me feel very happy. And there we go. The mega war has ended. Which means Patrick Mallister is once again my liege. Now, he wants me to be spymaster. Did we not modify our contract? I think we did. So if I decline this and quickly pause, I can actually demand a position. And I think the position that makes the most sense is either Castellan or Chancellor. Now, Castellan gives us prestige, lifestyle experience, and development growth, whereas Chancellor gives us prestige, fellow vassal opinion, and monthly diplomacy, lifestyle experience. Let's become his Chancellor. I mean, we are a very diplomatic lad, so I do feel like that makes the most sense. I'm very glad we altered our contract for this, in fact. What's this? Oh, everything's popping up now. Greetings, Lord Jon of Hammerford. I've heard good things about you, and I'm interested in starting a written conversation. I hope that this letter finds you willing, for I'm awaiting your swift reply. House Trant here. I politely decline. Yeah, I will start exchanging letters. Why not? A Bravosi puppeteer has arrived at my court. My steward, having heard talk of his talent among the local small folk, decided to invite him to put on a good show for my household. Of course, my steward is my son, Dean, as well. So hopefully we trust his judgment here. The puppet show was disturbing. The puppeteer put on several performances for the audience. One of the comical ones, however, felt like they were mocking myself and House Blackriver. I can only hope he didn't mock me in front of the peasantry as well. That is stressing us out a little bit. Night has been improved. Very nice. Greetings, Lord Jon of Hammerford. Thank you for your swift response. I am looking forward to your correspondence. Please, I implore you, pick the first subject for us to discuss. Let us discuss the finer points of etiquette. Hopefully you don't get offended. That's what happened the last time. I tried to speak about such things with someone. Are you trying to make me feel like... Yep, okay, we've embarrassed him. I just wanted to have a nice conversation, but you're the one with the ego problem. Knight of the Blackriver needs a successor as well, right? Eckhard. I think everyone's dying of old age. That's what's happening here. Let's force Eckhard to be a knight. And what I might have to do is actually find... Denyo is married. He did have one single daughter. Just a daughter, though. A warden here, he can't marry. Okay, Master Arwood, can you marry? You can marry. In fact, he might be able to. Sorella Sand is my knight. Wait, I thought you were... You were married to him. Okay. Right. I mean, she's intelligent and comely. Let's marry them off together. Sure. And hopefully they can have some children. We'll see about that. Wait, so can I actually arrange a marriage for you? No, I can't. Okay. Right, and you're already married. Okay, Sorella should be married off soon. Artos, he is not one of my knights, but he has good prowess. So maybe what we could do here is marry him off. Let's see. Probably... Do we want someone with good, like, prowess? Oh, Lera has very good prowess. There we go. Let's go ahead and assign or try and organize that marriage. Fiamma, let's try and get you a marriage as well. So if we sort by prowess again... Nicolette here, she's a stone Dornish, and she's only 25, so she should be able to have a few children yet. And then what about Kendros? Let's find him a child. A child? A wife? Oh, bloody hell, lad. We're going to get ourselves cancelled now. Slip of the tongue, guys. Nymeria, also a Sand Dornish, right. We got a few of those married off. That should give us the next generations of knights. We won't go too overkill, because we might need people to marry off, or things like guardians and stuff. Greetings, my perceptive liege. I gladly accept your marriage proposal. I will graciously take the hand of your courtier Sorella in holy matrimony. May our union bring happiness and fulfillment. Excellent news. We won't read all of these because we got a few to pop up now. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Hopefully they can start having children and whatnot. My dear father, it seems that in my dealings with Lord Andre, I may have accidentally made certain promises of exemptions from his obligations. I've tried, but I suspect there may not be any other way out of this. Now, Brynden, what did you bloody do? His feudal taxes are reduced to me. You bloody fool. But it's okay, Brynden. I won't hate you too much. We do have a history with House Stonemill, and in fact, I think lowering their taxes, they've kind of deserved that. So we will disguise this mistake as a gesture of goodwill. You're lucky, lad, but I'm an understanding and diplomatic man. As I open my eyes in the dark, I am immediately overwhelmed by an ominous feeling. Is someone watching me? Are you ready to embrace the truth, Jon? I sit up suddenly, completely awake. I look forward for the source of the unfamiliar man's voice, but there are only shadows. The Lord of the Seven Hells offers you his blessing. Will you accept it? I could become a witch in my later life. Ooh, is it? Is this something I would do? Let's see. I'm fickle, I'm impatient, and I'm cynical. I did become a bit reclusive. Yeah, a bit of a poet. I'm a little bit irritable. I'm a legitimized bastard. You know, I'm not particularly zealous or I'm not exactly a pious or a sinful man, so that doesn't really come into it. Fickle isn't going to help us. That's the last thing. So cynical. Jon trusts the self-interest of others above all else. Maybe the cynical side of me would want to become a witch. If everyone serves their self-interest, then so shall I, and maybe this power will be useful. Is a witch criminal for our faith, though? Where's faith? I need to get used to this new UI. If we go to sins, I don't... it should be down here, right? Witchcraft is criminal. Do I want to... I think the fact that I've built up my house over my lifetime here, the last few decades, I don't think I would risk incriminating it. I do think that's against my character, actually. I want nothing to do with this. Be gone, demon. I wonder who the witch is, though. It must be someone in my court, right? Maybe it could already be one of my children. Maybe the paranoia is now settling in our later years. Who knows? Who knows? Higher Liege has entered a regency. Okay. Wait, a Frey is... You're our regent? Or Higher Liege? Would that be... Oh, you are allied to the Freys, actually. Interesting. So everyone up here in the north of the Riverlands is actually quite closely knit and working together, which is nice. Warrior was wounded in training. Eckhard has become wounded. That's okay. It'll brush off, lad. Just rub a bit of dirt in it and you'll be good to go in no time. My granddaughter Sylvia has just finished a lesson held by Dean on the management of the treasury and the gold therein. Sylvia seems to have taken the lesson to heart with a reinforced sense of justice. She's constantly talking about how everyone from the highest lord to the lowest chandler plays their part in the economy of the realm. So Sylvia is the daughter of Dean, and Dean, no, I'm educating her, I think, but Dean hosted the lesson, right? So Sylvia has become just. She has a strong sense of justice. I'm not just, but I think Dean is just? Yeah, Dean is just. He's also zealous as well, which we can weave that into the story, for sure. Now, we have 261 gold. Buildings are almost done, but I might not upgrade straight away. We'll have to see what happens. We haven't got many events happening here and whatnot as well at the moment. How's my health looking? Well, we're now 60. The health is still poor and ailing. Right, let's zoom out a little bit. It's a little bit choppy. At this zoom level, I get no choppiness. I wonder if I have some graphic settings I can change. But it's okay. Right, we got some peasants in the east. Just as I say that we're all working together. Chaos has risen. My scouts just sent word. And look at this. My daughter-in-law, Omaria, the wife of Tristan, has given birth to a daughter. What shall we name her? And she's comely, which is very nice. And you guys have decided on Asling. Thank you, Grazo, for the name suggestion. I remembered you told me how to pronounce this, and I'll be honest, I have forgotten since I read that comment. So please, if I said that wrong, correct me again. But welcome to the world, Asling. Let's go ahead and pin her. She is my granddaughter. You didn't give me an education focus, so we will wait until she's old enough to pick one. Sylvia here. Wait, so Dean's had a child. That's Tristan. So Tristan has had 2 children. But what about Brendan? No, Brendan's had 2 daughters as well. Ah, yeah. Yeah, we named those. Okay. But for some reason, I didn't pin them. Okay, maybe it's because their education. Yeah, I don't need Sylvia. I know Sylvia is pinned because she's the heir of my heir. That's what's happening there. See, even I forget my own pinning criteria sometimes. Right, we've unlocked another diplomacy perk. What are we getting here? A life of glory. Level of fame impact plus 100%. Thank you very much. I'm going to stick things on 5 times speed as well. Just so we can get to the juicy parts. I did have some complaints earlier. Oh, JBD, there's slow and then there's this. I hear you guys, but if you want something faster, maybe go watch my Blackfire series. That one had a lot of chaos. My best friend Arwood is so talented, renowned across the land as a truly brilliant fighter. His swordsmanship is questioned by none. Watching the way he attacks a training dummy in the courtyard with all the vigor and grace of a true master would strike fear into the hearts of even the wiliest of duelists. Perhaps I could ask him to give me some tips and tricks on that area of expertise. Ah, that's not good. Teach me, Arwood. I wish to practice with the sword, and I have increased my prowess by 1. We have 11 prowess. It's pretty average, but in terms of Game of Thrones, Val is not average. It's very poor, especially if we go in here and we sort by prowess. I mean, what's the highest prowess? King Robert here has 80 prowess. Suddenly 11 doesn't seem so average, does it? I mean, the man is built, but even so. Greetings, my charming leech. I've been hosting your Chancellor, Brendan, for some time now. The way he imposes himself on my home, all the while encouraging no less than groveling servitude to you, disgusts me. What lord would send such a terrible representative? Oh, Brendan, you're doing a bloody terrible job as Chancellor, aren't you? Tristan is my Master at Arms. Do you have better diplomacy? No, we're kind of stuck with this council at the moment. I do want my sons to have the best shot at life, so I'm going to keep them on the council to improve their skills. But Brendan is definitely struggling to adapt to his new role. My courtier Nicolette, known for her interest in venery, brings rumor of beasts spotted in my realm. I am hearing much talk from Hammerford. It is said a foul wolf has been terrorizing the local villages, snatching livestock before disappearing into the wilderness. Interesting. So we have had a beast sighting in Hammerford. We could go on a hunt. How expensive are these hunts, though? I did want to say... I don't think we're going to go on the hunt. Although it would be nice. I want to save the gold. Because I need to make sure there is some kind of chest here. For when succession happens. It's pointless clicking off of these plagues. Because you get... Oh, what's that? Reaper's Will is a major plague. And it's the Sunset Plague. This character is beset by black patches of skin and multiple pupils. They are not long for this world. Wait, it's not the Black Plague, but I haven't seen this before. You lose so many stats. Fertility minus 50%. Health becomes the Reaper approaches, so that's just death, I guess. Elderly health is a severe penalty. And it is a major plague, which means this is going to spread at an incredible rate. So I think this, the Reaper's Will... Is that a Black Plague? I don't think so, right? Oh, it's spreading fast. It's on my capital, but I haven't had an option to isolate yet. And there we go. For the first time, plague has reached Hammerford. How bad is this plague? Has it already claimed lives? Not yet. Oh, crap. Okay, right. I will isolate the capital for sure. Increase the plague resistance of your capital. Let's do this. We do have hospices as well, so at least we have that to help us. With the plague looming over our capital, there is only one possible measure to remedy it. Reinforce the walls, close the gates, and throw the keys. We get isolated capital for 15 years. We lose control, but we do gain plus 40 plague resistance, which I think is very important. If we look here, I think we're already going to be... Yeah, we're losing control. We got isolated capital. We might be losing things like down here. Yeah, control's already... Yeah, development is dipping because of the plague. We did just build cranks and connecting roads, though. Right. I could also enter seclusion. A great and deadly plague is on the horizon. Although many will die, I cannot allow myself or my loved ones to be counted among the dead. We must retreat to the outskirts of the capital in seclusion, safe from the miasma of plague and disease. If I do this, I gain secluded for 5 years. Chance of infection is minus 75%, though. And that's family member, every close family member at court. We do lose a lot of stats. But this plague scares me. It is spreading fast. And it has already claimed 1 life. Oh, dear. So what does red mean? Infection rate. It is increasing, so I think we do have to flee. Our plague resistance is not high enough to deal with this. So let us enter seclusion. This is the first time I have truly had to run away from a plague. So let us click this. I think I already read this. Yes. I will enter seclusion. I've never done this before. Carried far away from the stink of the capital's heart late at night. I and my family may remain distant from the people of the realm until such a time that is right to emerge. Communication will be limited, and my throne will feel empty. But we should remain safe from death and decay, beyond our 4 modest walls. Lock the doors. We lose a little bit of legitimacy. And choosing to travel at any point during your isolation will end your isolation. So we're not allowed to travel and go to hunts and things like this. And the Reaper's Will is definitely spreading across the land. I'm not quite sure if it's a black plague, but it is spreading. The Riverlands doesn't help, does it? Wow. There was just a war here as well. I wonder if they left the bodies rotting in the fields and that's what caused it. Although as Lord, most of my attention rests on matters of governance. From time to time, commercial opportunities present themselves which provide an engaging diversion. One such opportunity has recently borne fruit, far more fruit, so to speak, than anticipated. There is no reason I shouldn't keep the goods and sell them on for a profit myself. And yet, a wise liege must sometimes share with their loyal vassals. I think Andre is deserving of a reward. Let's go ahead and give him 20 gold and he gains opinion on me. Reward him for his father's loyalty. His family's loyalty, I guess I should say. Oh, look at it spread. Ooh, I'm scared. As I lean over to pick up a scripture to study, my granddaughter is told. Oh, barges through the door, interrupting my tranquil solitude. Master John, you won't believe what I found out about Leslin. She pauses to catch her breath for dramatic effect. Speak then, go. He has a lover, apparently. Interesting. How is this doing? It's still only killed 1 person. Wow. That is spreading. Yeah, it's claimed a 2nd person now. A traveling maester I will welcome you, although I must warn you, yeah, this must be their version of the Black Plague, right? The Reaper's Will. It's only a major, though. It's not fully maxed out here, so we will see how much devastation it brings to Westeros. Whilst walking the corridors of my keep today, I ran into my guest Halberd and began speaking with him. During our conversation, I noticed that he had a link of gold on his chain. I brought this up to him and began talking at length about accounting and stewardship. Truly illuminating conversation. It's just our luck that it spawns next to us as well. Although it doesn't seem to be spreading anymore. I mean, it's gone along the major rivers. Halberd has come before me and somewhat perfunctorily thanked me for my hospitality. He complimented me on my insights into scholarly matters, though his tone would suggest he thought little of my intellect. He thinks me a fool. Yeah, I am not a man of stewardship. I am a man of diplomacy, and that's about it. Right, we're not going to be traveling, because that's going to end our seclusion. What I do need to do, though, if we go back here, is we need to get on top of this control before it spirals out of control. That's a little bit of a mouthful. It's reached for Iron Islands. That's interesting. So is it just going to stop here? I think so. And the death toll is racking up. Look at that. Oh, it's starting to flow now. Luckily, I don't think any of my family were infected. And I don't think, if it is the version of the Black Plague, it's not very... I don't think so, right? It would say... I mean, it says it has a picture of the rat, and they've renamed it, obviously, for Game of Thrones. But it doesn't seem too severe. Maybe because it's not maxed out here. It's only a major plague. My son Tristan has been quarreling with his nephew, Radamar, for days. Just now, I can overhear them arguing in the next room over. Unbelievable, Tristan shouts. How can a fiend like you believe that you are the ideal manifestation of Blackriver family virtues? I am clearly far more deserving of that distinction than you are. Lads, no fighting in the family. We need to look out for one another. As I walk into the room, Tristan turns to face me. I am glad you are here, Jon. Won't you please talk some sense into your grandson, Bradamar? He has been completely unreasonable. Do you know what? You are both acting like petulant children. Stop it. We must work together. The peasant rabble are rising again. Did I just see the plague shrink? Hopefully I did. While I was in the castle town with Isolde, her attention was caught by a criminal chained in the pillory. Isolde lifted her head and made a show of ignoring the criminals begging for water. So she is arrogant now. Okay. That's quite the contrast. We have a nice mixture of people here. And terrible news. How can a heart endure this kind of pain without breaking? It cannot be possible, yet here I am, my heart beating on whilst yours has gone quiet. Oh, Jane, my songbird, life would not be the same without you. I have become widowed, and I have lost my life. I'm overwhelmed by stress as well. Because I'm widowed, I may not remarry, although I don't think I want to either. She died at 53 of apoplexy. So not of the plague, but she did die nonetheless. That's very unfortunate. Oh dear. My dear Jane Rivers shuffled off this mortal coil. What would I give for just one more day with her? My halls feel empty, and yet I must tarry in this place. Perhaps the sadness will dull with time. It seems I am struggling in my grief here. I'm going to seclude myself because we are a little bit stressed. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We lose prestige, but we also lose stress. I think that's worthwhile. We have so much prestige. And we're no longer, at least, on the verge of a mental break. Right, let's keep an eye on this plague. 84 deaths now. 90. It's rather impressive, isn't it? I have been aware of Arwood's eyes on me all evening as we eat. As I continue to pick up my first dish as the next course queues up. First, I have lost myself. I can't let this go any longer, he shouts to me. I can't sit here and watch you waste away, Jon. I bridle somewhat, but it's hard to look indignant behind the mountain piles of dishes. Maybe I don't find too much time to eat, but it's time-consuming business running a lordship. You know what, Arwood? You're right. You are right. Let's try and fix it. It's a fresh, sunny day, and I can see the sweat dripping off Arwood's chin as he continues to encourage me forward. The sack of rocks on my back groans under the weight, and I do too as I throw it down under the line in the dirt. But Arwood had drawn with a stick. He claps his hands together delightedly. Right! You're looking stronger already. I think it's time to move on to something a bit bigger. I know we're currently conducting draining works in the next field over and could use some help. Otherwise, If you're feeling brave, there's a corpse of trees just over the crest that they're logging in. What do you think? There's a plague going on. I don't think corpses are good. Bring me an axe. I'll cut down a tree or two. But I ain't going nowhere near those bodies. I know what you're trying to do. Grand tournament, we can't travel right now. Felling trees is dangerous business for someone as inexperienced as myself. Even being overseen by Arwood's watchful eye, the combination of my lack of awareness and exertion has already resulted in a few close shaves. Wedging my axe into the wood of a nearby log, I pause to take a drink from my flask. Arwood approaches me, his own axe slung over his shoulder. I think you're ready to take something on a bit bigger, he says cheerily and indicates with his axe. The tree being pointed to is a huge towering hardwood, and I eye it warily as my inking muscles tense in anticipation. Could you at least give me a hand, Arwood? I think it's a two-man drawn. Andre has died of the plague. So now his sister, Marina, has taken over at the age of 35. She is homely. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have any Blackrivers free. Only my grandson. That's too much of an age gap. I mean, she can marry for herself, though. But the stone mills are in a little bit of trouble there. We'll have to check, actually. What happens to if you die, then your sister comes in charge, and she is married to Peter, the Prince of Fashion, my son, of course. So there are a few backup options there, but this could be catastrophic news. Ah, Lord Jon of House Penrose. Greetings, Lord Jon of Hammerford. I have heard good things about you, and I am interested in starting a written conversation. Before we do this, note your diplomacy is rubbish. I must politely decline. I'm afraid I've been offending too many men lately. Yeah, I don't know why I click off of them. 120 deaths already. Our neighbors of House Stonemill are unfortunately among those casualties. Alfric, an itinerant bard popular with the common folk, has arrived at my court. A local landowner encouraged him to seek me out so that he might perform for myself and my household. Prior to the performance, he came to ask what sort of music would be most pleasing to my ears. What kind of music do we like? I think, Sing of the Valor of House Blackriver. Alric's performance went over swimmingly, with not a single member of my household left unimpressed. Beyond the specific ballad I requested, Alfric played many more gorgeous tunes, much to everyone's delight. A splendid evening indeed. Very nice, very nice. Right, well, okay, let's get rid of this. No, actually, I wanted to watch the plague, didn't I? There's so many pop-ups. I get confused. Oh, we need to change him. Plague resistance, of course. Oh, I did that so late. So now we should put plague resistance on him, although I might be too late to that. While I was at the market with Sylvia, her attention was caught by a criminal chained in a pillory. When the man begged for water, Sylvia immediately promised to bring it and soon returned from a nearby well, letting the criminal drink from her cupped hands. So Sylvia is just and compassionate. She's turning into quite a lovely, caring lass, isn't she? I'm glad that she is turning out in such a way. We can isolate capital again, but why is it not isolated? I already said to isolate it. The plague hasn't gone away, guys, so bloody isolated. Knight of the Black River needs a worthy successor. Right, what happened here? Did someone die of the plague? We don't have anyone, so let's try and find someone to do this. And my son Peter can marry. That's because his spouse, Aileen Stonemill, actually died from the plague. Wow. Okay, the stone mills are in big trouble. Look at the map as well. Oh, you can see the corpses littering the city here. Oh, it's not good, is it? We have corpses piled up outside our castle as well. If I disable the UI, you can see them here. This is not good. Not good at all, guys. Look at this. Like piled up outside in the hills. Hard times have befallen Hammerford. We're earning like no gold now as well. Right. There is but one stone mill left alive. I will marry you off to Peter. Maybe you guys can have children. She would not accept because it has to be matrilineal. Right. Well, marry yourself then, because I'll be honest, you kind of need to marry someone. Lara here. No, 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 no. I need to pick a strong guy. Oh, Denyo's dying as well? He's infirm? What is all of this stuff? Oh, we're entering hard times. There's not many... Right, these are all my courtiers. Right, Hibbold. You're going to marry Hibbold. Let's do that. There we go. We'll send him off. I don't think he was my knight, just my courtier. Wow, we are in hard times. And Peter needs to find a wife as well then. So let's try and find him a spouse. If we go for alliance power, we want a Riverlander, really. House Malice, she's... only a 28-year age gap, guys. Right. One of you actually pointed out, I think it was you, Ant, to pick Riverlander. Sorry if I'm wrong for remembering that. Which I think is a good idea, because I do want to keep allies close by. Unfortunately, everyone does seem a little bit young here. I mean, Dorif here is of age. The problem is she has the lover's pox of House Helney. She is all the way up here in the Riverlands in the northeast. I don't think I want to marry Peter off to someone with lover's pox. What about Joyous or Silwa? Silwa's 27, so that's a little bit lower. House of the Mull, they are down over here in the Riverlands. So let's try and get an alliance with them. Why not? Now, I know we could be getting better alliances, but guys, I think it makes sense to get alliances in the Riverlands. It just feels a bit more fitting, you know? We're still a relatively unknown house. I don't think marrying into the big houses makes sense. One of my counselors has died. Merriman died from the plague. So I have a new septon now. Greetings, my charming liege. I gladly accept your marriage proposal. I will graciously take the hand of your courtier Hibbold in holy matrimony. Excellent news. Hopefully you have a few children, because your house is on the brink of extinction. And Peter has married his new wife as well. How's the plague looking now? That's the wrong keybinder. There we go. Oh, it looks brutal, doesn't it? There we go. A bit laggy. 172 souls it's claimed now. The wilderness is calling out to me. It's been too long since I last hunted. Out there in the wetlands of Hammerford, there are plenty of flighty deer. One of those would do well on my dinner table tonight. Something is missing, though. Are my hunting spears too old and dull? Or is it a companion I lack? I should make sure to prepare well. I think newly forged spears. Prowess +1 and monthly prestige. Let's go with that. And unfortunately, guys, I will not be ending the episode here. You thought I baited you out then, didn't I? Yeah, we're going to do a longer episode today. I've realized with my sleep schedule that live streaming is actually very hard to commit to a schedule, because my sleep is just very bad. I'm not very good at sleeping, and I go sleep and wake up different times every day, and like wildly different. So maybe longer recording episodes are the way to go, because at least with recordings, I can record no matter time of day as long as the neighbors and whatnot aren't loud. During my afternoon stroll down the streets of Hammerford, my granddaughter Isolde runs up to me. Master John, I just started swinging at one another. Ooh, break it up, both of you. Stop fighting. There's a plague going around. You should be going home. Okay, Old Stones is recovering from the plague. We are not dropping yet, but hopefully we will be soon, because I want to escape the plague as well. The fire rules, drinks have been had, and Sefton is calling out to me for a story. My first thought is of a famous Riverlander folktale, a classic that never fails to delight. On the other hand, what if I told a story of my own life, perhaps of the time I became friends with Lord Willis of Mistcore, House Rushmore? Yes. Let us tell my own story, getting a little bit more prestige. The deaths are still rolling in. I arrived back at my castle after a long, lonely walk. Another year passed, another year older. A surprise party. What, 63? I don't think a surprise party would happen, though. Because we are in a time where we're not at our capital at all. Let's see. I think I'll take the medium-sized package, and I become the owner of a gilded rat's tail. We lose prestige, but we gain child opinion. I think I will go ahead and sell that one for a little bit of gold. I appreciate the gift, my friend. But I don't quite need it. Right, we can become August. So we get more diplomacy, more martial, more prestige, as he is honored as a true ruler, worthy of the empires of old. And I think that is true. We did not wage war, but I did put the prosperity and the success of my house at the forefront of my mind. This is still not going down, unfortunately. Hopefully that can start going down soon. The plague is starting to vanish on the map here. I'm on my way through my courtroom when a scaffold at its far end draws my attention. A strapping man is being advanced upon by my guards, only for their weapons to clatter to the floor in the blink of an eye. The stranger flourishes his sword in salute toward me. My lord, I find myself without a liege to serve, and judging from your protection here, you could do with my help. From the red robes he mantles himself, I deduce he is a follower of the Lord of Light. Where's his red robe? Oh, interesting. He is a red priest, 22 prowess. I'll tell you what. For a man of your talents, absolutely yes. Join my court and become a knight. And my friend Sefton has died of old age. Everyone around me is dying. Life is tough. And now we need a new admiral. We don't have any powerful vassals here. Andron, you have 22 stewardship. So I'm going to plop you in the admiral position. And he is wielding my coat of arms proudly on his armor there. So I think he's suited for the job. An accolade successor has been found for Knight of the Blackriver. Seth of House Pelham has decided he is good enough for the role. Right. I need to make sure he becomes a knight though. Yeah, let's go ahead and force him. And then he can be successor for Knight of the Blackriver there. So that's sorted once more. What are the accolade ranks at the moment? Only level 1. It's because we're not doing any fighting. They haven't been to tournaments and whatnot. For some reason, the infection rate still isn't going down. Interesting. Even though we were one of the first counties to get infected, it's just not going down at all here. And the slave revolt is now targeting my liege Patrick. Tomorrow it still says 45%. During one of our lessons in my granddaughter Sylvia's chambers, I noticed a collection of rocks neatly displayed on a shelf. One of the stones stands out in the collection. It is quite rough, but upon closer inspection, there was a deeply red, brilliant hue contained within. She noticed my interest, picks it up and hands it over. You can have it, Master John. Ah, thank you, Sylvia. Learning and prestige. I will equip this one, thank you. What a nice granddaughter, so generous. What's not generous is this bloody plague. Maybe it's because we're right next to a river. Everyone else's is going down, but not mine. Merle, a hedge knight, has arrived at my court. He has requested permission to rest at my keep for a short while before he resumes his travels. In return, he has offered me his services for the duration of his stay. I'm sure an extra pair of hands will be good. Right, let's click through these, though, and we'll see what kind of hedge knight he develops into. But first, we must say goodbye to another friend. Master Arwood also died of the plague. There is a deep and endless hole in my heart. Arwood was a constant companion and confidant, and to have him ripped away from my life feels like a mortal wound from which I will never recover. My hand clasps the note he gave me, the last note he will ever give me, I realize bitterly. I tried to read it, but all I can do is move it away from my face, but the precious words contained within are not washed away by my tears. Though there is a crowd of many mourners around me, I have never felt so alone. I need to be strong and move forward. I have ongoing heartache for 30 years. I gain even more stress, and I am actually overwhelmed by stress and having a mental breakdown. Lately, it feels like I am constantly being distracted by lascivious thoughts and erotic fantasies. For all the hardships of my everyday life, it's all too easy to lose myself in daydreams and forget about reality. These desires are clearly interfering with my life, but what should I do about them? I think solitude. I will go into solitude. Lord Patrick is no longer my friend for some reason, but it is a small price. I must make successor, Knight of the Blackriver. Oh, did he die of the plague as well? And our hedge knight is improving too. Right. Everyone's dying, so I need a new spy master. Let's see. Lady Marina is a powerful vassal, and she is of House Stone Mill. There we go. So let's go ahead and assign her. I think she deserves that spot. And now Knight of the Blackriver does need another successor again. We can't actually seek one, so that might be a little bit worrying there. Right, let's unpause. Hopefully the plague is gone soon. And hopefully this hedge knight turns into a good knight. We still have 45% infection rate. Wow. One morning, as I am getting ready to face the day, my granddaughter Sylvia approaches me. Master Jon, we found this while exploring the northern tower yesterday. You should have it. She hands over a small tattered coin pouch. Oh, 10 gold. Thank you very much. Merlin and Tristan have spent the day in deep conversation with one another, discussing the finer points of strategy and analyzing historical battles. Okay. Right, so what kind of knight did you turn into? He's only got 6 prowess. He's not the best. Yeah, I will wish him safe travels. We don't need to fuss over him too much. And there we go. The infection rate is finally dropping in Hammerford. Wow, it just shot right back up, though, for some reason. Are we literally going to be one of the last counties? Possibly. At least in that area. Oh, they have 95% infection rate. Wow. Can it respread to us? 307 fatalities. As lords such as myself has ample opportunities to host courtiers for breaking up bread, tonight I am seated beside Roos, who has kept me busy listening to many tales of the land. Roos of House Longreed. Okay, okay. And I hail from Cape Kraken, north of these parts, the ancient lands where the children of the forest once lived. A hush falls across the table as guests who are walking amongst themselves turn their attention to Roos. I, the forest of marshes of Cape Kraken, are older than man setting foot in these lands. Some of the stones have stood there since the dawn of time, and there's power in it too, but only the children of the forest understood. He trails off, and I can't help but yearn to know more. I have heard fine tales for 1 year. We get more learning and some other stuff. Right, it's dropping. Hopefully it doesn't raise again. I wonder if it's because stone mills reinfected us. I'm going to isolate capital. It's expired once more, but we're not out of the woods yet. And so let's isolate, and hopefully it becomes uninfected. Right. Okay, the plague is no longer here. So we can I unisolate the capital, or is that kind of stuck in for 5 years? I think it's stuck in for 5 years. Okay, but what we can do is emerge from seclusion. Let us return to our estates and start repairing the damage brought on by the plague. I cannot rule from afar any longer. It is imperative that I exit seclusion and return to my rightful place at the capital. So we lose this secluded thing, which is very nice. The sun feels unfamiliar and hostile on my skin. The wind feels cold and violating. When was the last time I took a breath of air? It was the 7 who are one made it. I am glad to be back. How are things here? Oh, the control level is non-existent. Wow. Right. That has actually absolutely destroyed us. Development is gone as well, which really sucks because development is something that's really hard to get going here. We don't need to be on plague resistance anymore, at least. But we absolutely do need to be increasing the control. In fact, it doesn't even say how many years it's going to take. But we're losing control. That's why. Even though he's on increased control, we are losing control. And just as I returned, it seems I passed. Lord Jon of Hammerford has left this world at 63 years of age. He died of a broken heart. A man to always put the good of his family above all else. He spent his life trying to ensure a glorious future for all of his descendants. For once, I feel like this has actually nailed a character's rule. He ruled for 38 years. Died at 63. And this is, of course, the first time I've ever played as myself in Crusader Kings 3. I think it was a good life. Lord Dean ascends to the throne, having mastered many skills. He is sure to be admired by his subjects. Let us continue as my son, Lord Dean, and take a look at the lad who will soon rule Hammerford. So Dean is diligent. Dean does not shy away from hard work. He is also zealous. Religious conviction burns bright at the center of Dean. He is just. Dean has a strong sense of justice, and he is humble. Dean does not ask for much in life. He is a fortune builder. Dean possesses a keen sense for all matters relating to stewardship and is an administrative force to be reckoned with. He is a twin with Brynden, I think. There we go. Brynden's over here. And of course, he is a knight, so he gains prestige, captain effectiveness, attraction opinion, heavy cavalry damage, and opinion of knight characters. Everything is here. This character was knighted and is sworn before the eyes of the gods and men to defend those who cannot defend themselves, to protect all women and children, to obey their captains, liege, lord, king, to fight bravely and do such other tasks that are laid upon them. however hard or humble or dangerous they may be. Let us go ahead and pick ourselves a lifestyle. Of course, we are going to go stewardship. And I think, yes, architect does make a lot of sense. Let's go for wealth focus. Plus 10% income. And we will go down to architect. So what do we have? We have taxman. Collect tax effectiveness plus 25%. Defensive measures. So we get more fort level, more garrison size. And we can purchase truces. Okay. Cutting cornerstones. So building cost and holding cost are reduced. Professional workforce, so building and holding construction time is reduced by 30%. That's huge. And development growth in the realm capital plus 0.1. That should help us a little bit with our current situation. Now, I wonder... We cannot host a funeral. Is that part of a future DLC? I thought it came with the Plague DLC, but... Oh, I don't own it yet. I keep forgetting to buy the DLC. Maybe that was a part of the actual paid part of the DLC. I need to go ahead and buy Chapter 3. I'll get around to it. Let's equip our relics here. We do have a spare rough gemstones. Oh, we've equipped both of our necklaces. That's why, right. In that case, I think I will destroy the gemstone. We don't quite need that. I could have gifted it, but that's fine. We're going to save the council and all of this for the next episode. But before I wrap things up here, we must decide what our goals are. As Dean, my father, Jon, he had his own goals, and he succeeded in them. And now it is time to look to my own wants and needs for House Blackriver. The fact that I am zealous, and the fact that I am a fortune builder, I do have a path in mind. Many of you know that my great-grandfather was given Hammerfoot for saving a Malister child during an Ironborn raid. And thus, I think, in order to build my fortune and in order to fulfill my zealous duties, we must look west towards the Iron Islands, for they follow false gods. They follow the drowned god. Where's Pike? The Greyjoys do follow the drowned god. So I must sail west. I will build my fortune on the Iron Islands. And not only that, I will bring the faith of the Seven to them. And get payback and make sure that no one fears raiding anymore. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the slightly longer episode. If you did, make sure to press the like button. It does help. Or even leave a comment and tell me that you want more of this kind of length of episodes. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching as always. I will see you next time.